When every sample has dozens of features, it is hard to build intuition from flat tables alone. We will use PCA and Python to project data into 2 dimensions so you can actually see clusters, outliers, and structure. You notice a spreadsheet with many columns and no obvious story. You want a simple picture that tells you where groups form and which points are extreme. By the end of this video, you will turn a 5-dimensional toy set into a clean 2-dimensional plot that reveals clusters and obvious outliers. I'm Professor Pi, teaching AI foundations from basics to advanced with simple concepts-first Python that helps you solve bigger real-world problems. PCA is a tool people reach for when visualization and compression are the goal. It finds the directions that explain most of the variance and uses them to make high-dimensional data human-readable. Success looks like a 2-dimensional scatter, where similar samples group together and noise spreads out. We will walk through a small, consistent example so you can reuse the same steps on your datasets. Now we will build a toy dataset to work with. This snippet builds a small 5D dataset with 3 separable clusters. It constructs points in 5-dimensional space by centering groups around distinct locations. So each cluster is visibly different when projected to the right axes. The snippet also attaches cluster labels so we can color points in the final plot and sanity check results. Top to bottom, the code chooses 3 means, draws samples around each mean, and stacks them into one data matrix. There is a reproducible random seed to make the example stable. The important idea is there are 3 clear groups in 5-dimensional coordinates, which lets PCA show whether the top 2 directions separate those groups. Next, we prepare the features for PCA. This snippet standardizes features to 0 mean and unit variance. It computes the mean of each column and divides by the column standard deviation, so no one dimension dominates due to scale. The code fits the scalar to the 5-dimensional matrix and transforms every feature vector. Standardization matters because PCA looks for directions of maximum variance. If one original feature has much larger numeric range, it will bias the principal directions unfairly. If you skip standardization, the picture can be misleading. The only real choice here is whether to scale. The snippet chooses unit variance, which is the standard approach for mixed-scale features. Now we compute the principal directions. This snippet computes PCA via SVD and ranks components by variance. It performs singular value decomposition on the standardized data to produce orthogonal directions and associated singular values. The code converts singular values into explained variance per component, and then into cumulative explained variance, so you can see how much information each axis carries. Top to bottom, it centers any remaining mean, calls the SVD routine, and sorts components by descending variance. The key outputs are the principal axes and the explained variance ratios. If you change how many components you request, the explained variance shows the trade-off between compression and fidelity. Next, we map the high-dimensional points into 2 coordinates. This snippet projects the data onto the first 2 principal axes. It takes the standardized data and multiplies it by the first 2 principal vectors to produce 2-dimensional coordinates for every sample. The snippet then returns a 2-column matrix you can plot on a scatter chart. The important idea is projection is a rotation and scaling that preserves the most variance in a lower dimensional view. If the first 2 components capture most variance, clusters will remain separate in the 2-dimensional plot. If not, you will see overlap and should consider more components or a non-linear method. Finally, we inspect interesting extremes in the 2D view. This snippet finds the 3 points farthest from the 2D origin. It computes the Euclidean distance of each projected point to the origin and sorts the distances to pick the top 3 largest values. The code returns indices and the corresponding two-dimensional coordinates, so you can annotate the scatter or inspect the original five-dimensional features for context. This is a simple outlier check in the reduced view and helps you decide whether those points are true anomalies or artifacts of projection. Use this to link the visual outlier back to the raw features for further diagnosis. After the 5 steps, you can map the toy flow to a real project. Replace the 5-dimensional matrix with your feature table. Keep the same standardize, then PCA, then inspect sequence. And use the top 2 axes to guide exploratory analysis or feature selection. The same 3 farthest point check flags candidates for deeper investigation in the original feature space. Recap: PCA is a rotation that reveals the directions of largest variance. Use it when you need a quick visual summary or lightweight dimensionality reduction. Caveat: PCA is linear and sensitive to scaling, so standardize and check explained variance before trusting a 2-dimensional plot. Next step: tune how many principal components you keep by plotting cumulative explained variance, and choose the smallest number that reaches your target variance threshold. If AI Foundations in Python help, subscribe and watch the AI Foundations videos.